It's earlier, but that's all right. And it is recording, by the way. Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
I'm sure that, some of the gurus will still come probably in the meantime. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Good evening, everybody. How is everybody doing? I am trying to see if I can get the live show here. Yeah, got it. Everybody, nice to see you today again. Again, another episode of Trans Gurus. We have some people already, quite a lot of people looking at us today, so it's very nice.
Hi, everyone.
Wow. So we just started, and we are getting kind of organized. So
we're only going to do a half-hour show tonight because somebody has personal things they have to take care of.
Oh, yes, honey.
And it's not me.
And it's not me
Raji.
So, how is everybody doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Hey, Bonnie, you start. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I got no complaints. Life is good. I do my meditation, my visualization, my exercise. I work on myself every day. Obstacles come at me and I see it just as that, and I don't get hung up on it. And I love life and I love everything that's going on, and life is good.
So Jimmy just came in too. So we are now 4 gurus.
Welcome, Jimmy.
I'm hoping
Hello.
Christian's going to sign in. You never know.
Yeah, sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. So Jimmy is here too. And how's your life treating you, Raj?
Yes, tell us your new adventure now.
Yeah, you have to tell the newest news.
My new adventure. Well, no, it just came up out of left field, actually, but I filmed this past week with Amara La Negra. She is from Love and Hip Hop Miami, the reality show. So she's starting her new show, and they did an episode on LGBTQ. So I was a guest along with Jason Rodriguez from Pose, and it was a really good experience. Yeah, great. All the producers were like really happy. They said it's going to be a great show. I mean, it hasn't come out yet. It'll probably come out in December or January, but based on what they see, they were like, oh my God, it was fabulous. So I was happy. I was real happy. Only thing is, they sent me home in a limousine and I couldn't enjoy the ride because I get motion sickness sometimes. And I got motion sickness. So I was so dizzy. By the time I got home, I could barely walk to my door. But everything else other than that was great. Yeah.
When does your episode with Jazz come out?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything. It'll probably be like maybe next month into December, because I think they said the show was going to start around that time, but I'm not sure the exact date. Yeah, honey, gotta keep it going. Spread it all
Jimmy,
around.
we're live, just so you know. Say hello. We got quite a few people watching us already today. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Jimmy. How is your week going? How's everything
Everything
going?
is excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah.
Excellent.
Me too. I've had a really great week. It's really quite an interesting time right now for me. Many things happening. I saw something which was a kind of really, I heard one comment which hurted me a little bit. and it was a little bit of a transphobic coming, kind of, she's a man anyway. And that was kind of something which, it's not something you like to hear, but it happens.
Where was this at? On Trans Gurus?
No, it was someone, and they were not even talking about me. They were talking about
okay.
But they were talking about some other person, and they were talking like, she's a man anyway. And it was in the office. And then, because in the office they don't know that I'm transgender. But it was kind of hurtful because they thought that they were perfectly at ease with me, and well, they're not.
That's a hurtful thing. That's a hurtful thing when you think people are cool with you, and then you hear something like that. Yeah.
Well, it was not about me, but even if it's not about me, it was someone which was transgender, and it was quite transphobic, I think.
Wow.
I mean, transphobia right now, it's kind of really crazy a little bit in the United States. Not only transphobia, but let's say in some states, they're going very much against the LGBT, against women, like in Texas. And this is a really big issue. You know that in Texas, apparently yesterday, the governor stopped the LGBT helpline for
Suicide.
suicide. This is,
Oh, you gotta be kidding.
yes.
You have to be kidding. Oh, if that doesn't say it all, I don't know what does.
No.
I mean, really, you're gonna stop an LGBTQ suicide?
Listen,
outcry?
the only thing I can tell you, there's karma in this world. And I know my family didn't like me. And then my cousin, who didn't care for me at all, she has a transgender son, and I love it. What goes around comes around.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know if you all heard the positive news in Uganda, which a few years was very, very, very transphobic and homophobic, and they had laws set in place against us. They just granted the first transgender woman her official, gender marker change and name, and they did it. And that was like, big time for Uganda. So
That's incredible.
maybe it's
Okay, so then be the change you want to see in the world.
Absolutely.
Be the change. Be the change. Someone has to be the person that influence the person who's currently transphobic to come out of it.
Yeah.
So be the change you want to see in the world. Be an ambassador for the trans community. Not everyone's going to like everyone. And if we look for blanket approval across the world, you're going to be waiting a long time. Just be the world you want to create, or create the world you want to be, rather. And be the influence and be the ambassador of our community in such a way that just give no one reason to talk shit.
Yeah. I don't know if our people which are watching it got some kind of, some comments about this theme, which is called transphobia. Just let us know. Christina, sorry. No, Charlotte, sorry. Charlotte says, sorry to you about Texas and well done, Uganda. Yes, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I think it was with Jimmy. Yeah, we have to be the that's what we're trying to do here anyway. With Transgurus is to try to, to go to tell what we think about transgender people and how to support them. Yeah, we hate transphobic people too, Dax. It's absolutely correct, but unfortunately, there's more than you think,
Well, then at the same time, there's probably more people that are LGBT allies than not.
Oh yeah,
So
considerably more.
I would say let's focus on our allies, and let's focus on how to cultivate more allies. There's always going to be naysayers. I don't care who you are. There's someone talking shit about Bezos and his rocket ship launched the other day. There's always going to be people talking shit about whatever. So if we just focus our lives on trying to convince everyone to be an ally to the LGBT community, you're going to live one miserable life.
Absolutely.
And so therefore, I live my life in such a way that I am an ambassador for our community, and I present myself in such a way that's confident, regal, respectful, helpful. I'm an asset everywhere I go, including this show. And therefore, I am cultivating a sense of congruence, not only in the LGBT community, but in our world in general.
Yeah, I mean, Dax says there are people like that throughout, but we need not to listen to them. You're absolutely correct. Sometimes you just listen to one ear and goes out of the other, because it's the best way to do, and just say, forget it, I mean, yeah, absolutely true. And
when
of course,
you expend energy fighting something, it builds momentum. But if you don't put out the energy and you don't try to get involved in whether it's an argument or discussion or proving somebody right or wrong, it's not worth it. Let them do what they want to do the way they want to do it. Live their life the way they want. You live your life the way you want. Keep on flowing. I mean, I don't know. Life is as good as you make it. And if you choose to make it good, it'll be good.
so
There's
Christina,
it's kind of funny, so let's say, for example, we have someone who is, transphobic, so to speak. And let's say they're in a position that they need a paramedic, or they call an ambulance or a police officer. And then that paramedic or police officer happens to be a member of the
Transgender.
LGBT community and saves this person's life.
Yeah.
So just like Bonnie said, be an advocate for peace. Don't protest against the war.
Like Bonnie said, how many people do you have which are LGBT within your own family? People probably that you love. Not only
and a lot of them you might not even know.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was in an accident on I-95 back in 2009, in June of 2009. I was coming off the expressway, not speeding at all, going pretty reasonable, and trying to slow down because the light was ahead of me. My car hydroplaned, and the brakes weren't working. They weren't catching. So long story short, instead of hitting a truck that was in front of me, I swerved to the side, and I was pumping my brakes, but they never work. I ended up slamming into one of those light poles on I-95. The pole crashed down on my car. Well, normally when that happens, I didn't know that the county is supposed to charge you for the cost of that. And the person that showed up was someone LGBTQ. It was a lesbian woman. And she, saw the whole scenario. The officer said, I could see you were trying to stop. Long story short, the next day she calls me and she tells me, don't you worry about that, the cost of that. We're taking care of that. And so you never know there'll be situations that you're in, and you never know who's going to be your ally or your advocate. It's just amazing how that happens.
Absolutely. It's really true.
What an awesome story. And
Yeah.
things like that happen probably more than we realize.
Yeah.
Awesome. That kind of act had me tear up a little bit, Raji. That's I love it. I love it.
Oh,
See, we look out after our own kind. You know, when push comes to shove, if I'm in a position to help any human for that matter, but especially someone from my own tribe, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And
Absolutely.
Hello,
Bobby,
Christina from Germany.
hi, Christina. I was on RTL. I was on RTL like 3 times.
Wow.
I don't know. She probably turned the channel. I'm going to get her.
RTL is a very popular channel in Germany. I know because I'm from there too, so not too far away. Yeah, you wanted to say, Bonnie?
No, I just was making a comment that we had somebody from Germany.
Yeah. No, Christina wrote, I think the media just like to screw us, displaying PPL like you and me as freaks, or people like you and me as freaks. They just want to have great headlines that gets them quotes and money through our blood. I totally agree with you. I hate that. And in my music, I sing about the state of disorientation of trans folks. I totally agree with you. And you know what? It is really quite an interesting point that you put there, because it is true, but don't never forget, media earns them money by selling things. That's how they earn their money. So whatever they can cash on, they do.
We have Rami from New Zealand.
Hey, New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand. We've got German, New Zealand, so all over the world. No,
The
but
trans gurus are worldwide.
Do you understand what Dax is asking?
Dax, for people that are trans and don't know what to do, what advice would you give them? Well, Dax, try to accept us the way we are, because nobody's perfect. Probably many transgender people are more perfect than others anyway. So, but
I think what they're asking is, if they're transgender, how do they move forward? That's why I was asking you what you thought. And if that's the case, basically you try to find some kind of organization.
Yes.
And you go about it at your own pace. Some people go on hormones for 1-2 years before they come out. Some people come out and then go on hormones. Some people come out and never go on hormones. So what I'm saying is, you just need to find somebody that can give you some kind of guidance as to, different ways of looking at it and how to do it. And get a game plan. Just like if you were going to start a business or you were going to go find a job, you basically lay out the footwork of what it's going to take to make that journey, and then you work towards what you're working towards.
So
everybody's different on their journey, so you got to figure out what your journey is, but hopefully there's organizations that'll help you.
Yeah. So try to find a local support group. That is the first thing to do, where you can be with people that are like us, that can support you locally about your transition. Try to find someone which is, a counselor, which as well helps you psychologically to get over. And then things come by themselves, Yeah. I mean, that's what happened to me. And I think that's what happened with most of the people. But try to find, you're not alone.
That's the key. You're not alone. And the worst thing is to feel all alone in the world. So definitely connect, because that's a key thing. You want to connect with community, and there's power in unity. And so when I started going to the meetings and stuff, it was awesome, because there were people like me, like-minded people that were going through a lot of what I was going through. And when people would share, it's like, oh my God, I went through that, or I went through that, or something similar. And because of the technology we have in the world, don't let your location stop you. You can go online and try and find some connections online if you're in a place where there's not an LGBTQ center or facility or whatever. You know, thank God we have the internet now to connect with people.
Absolutely, Raj. Absolutely correct. And I don't know where you are in the world because we've got people from all over the world. But if you write us in the messengers, we can find you some local people that you can contact with. You know, we've been finding them all over the world, in India, everywhere.
Quick question, Raj. How long ago did you start going to meetings?
Okay, so, well, you know, because I've been a trans activist for about 23 years. Well, that's how I'm going to answer it. I was always connected to the community because of my activism, but the meeting part didn't come until, I would say, like relatively recent years. And when I say recent, probably like the last, maybe 7 to 10 years, you know, about 7 years, the last 7 or so years. And so I even though I've been an activist and I was plugged into the community, going to the meetings was like a whole other thing, because it was like, wow, oh my God, that incident she just described, I went through something similar. And when you hear stories like that are in common with some of your stories, it does tell you you're not alone in the world. You know, there's people that are going through what you might be going through. And like I said, there's power in unity. And no, you won't connect with everyone in the group, because there's not one trans person that represents all of us. There's all types of us. But that's like a human thing. Any group you go to, you're not going to connect probably with everyone. There's going to be certain people that you connect with. The important thing is that you get connected. Don't retreat and like hide and you know, feel like, oh my God, I'm all alone, because that's the worst thing you can do.
Absolutely.
And you're not all alone. You'd be amazed how many people are really still out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would like to expand on that. I know in my journey, maybe it's got to be 20 some years ago when I was married. My wife and I went to a marriage counselor, and we would go jointly and then individually. And I remember going to my one counselor, and I'm like, man, I'm like confused. I'm confused. I can't put my finger on what's going on in my head. And now that I look back on it, I'm like, well, why didn't the therapist tell me, or the marriage counselor say, well, you know, hey, Jimmy, you know, maybe you're trans. And I look back on that, and then I look forward to where I'm at now. That it doesn't work that way. No one outside of ourselves can tell us who we are. And I just simply had to figure it out for myself. So when we go to a counselor, don't think the counselor is going to tell us who we are. The counselor is going to set the stage, is going to set the environment to allow for self-discovery. No good therapist can tell you what you are. Only you can. And so it's the job of the therapist to create an environment, a dialogue, a relationship where self-discovery can occur, and we can just simply figure it out for ourselves. And then once you do, the light will go off in your head, and all previous life experiences that have brought confusion, or you were bewildered, all that will become clear as to why it happened. And then that will brighten the light moving forward. You'll be able to connect the dots in your life in such a way that the path forward will be more clear, and there'll be a light shining the way for you. God bless you, whoever that person was calling.
Just to share, in 1979, my dad sent me to this big wig from, I think it was John Hopkins or whatever, and he paid him like $1,000 back then because that money was a lot more money. And $1,000 was like 5,000 today, but or maybe whatever. He asked me 3 questions. And one of the questions was, did I look at men's butts? And I didn't. And I said, no. So he declared after 3 questions, that's all he fucking talked to me, charged $1,000 and said, no, you're a fetishistic transvestite. I mean, you know, the only reason I bring that up is years ago when you went for therapy, Shannon, that when I went for therapists, I never went there for a therapist that cared about me. They just wanted to learn about transgender people. So, I mean, they went there and they studied me and I paid them to study me and I never got anything out of it. It was ridiculous, but I needed it for hormones back then and I needed it for all the other stuff. So I had to go through all these motions. But the reality of it is it was a joke, whereas today, therapists are trained and it's a lot different. And somebody might have recognized today, if you went for therapy, like your head, what's going on, they may have made that as a suggestion or a possibility or something for you to look into today. Whereas back then it was like taboo, you know, you don't ever bring that up.
Absolutely.
Good point. But in the evolution of my own journey, looking back, I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
Well, we're the sum of all our experiences that we've been through. And if you take those experiences away, life would be different. And you know, I don't know, did anybody write something in? I don't want to overtalk if there's a question. Is there a question?
Oh, yeah, many people writing.
Well, let's answer some questions.
Christina was talking about, I totally felt that I'm not at all out of, because I have, in the heavy metal scene, there is a lot of open hate. I often feel alone. But you know, try.
Heavy metal's a little.
We like heavy metal too. And we'll go as trans, believe me. And no, okay, we go as people. We go as people, you know, it doesn't make any difference what you are. We are just people, you know. Unfortunately, this is Shirley, unfortunately, been alone my whole life, many reasons, just unable to find a common ground. Try. There's such a lot of people like you. Try. Sometimes, you know. And then Christine says 1997, 07 back then, yeah. Yep. The first time I tried to transition was in 1992. And at the time, the doctor just refused me to give me hormones and I went into a really big depression. Yeah, it has been a while as well. Yeah, but you know, I think Jimmy is right. It's what we experience that makes us. Every single bit which makes us. When we come and yep, go ahead. And I was telling, because we are talking about our experiences today with you, we are based on what we know. If 20 years ago, if I actually had transitioned in 1992 when I originally, I probably would be a completely different person today. Not negative or positive, just different. Probably I had even a better life, but probably I didn't have a better life. I don't know. Things have changed. I'm very happy what I've done, and I'm very happy where I am now. But because sometimes I suffered as well because of of my experiences. But
We are who we are based on everything that we've ever done, saw, spoken, heard, smelled. We are the sum total of all past experiences. And all these have intricate way of influencing and molding our thoughts and our behavior and how we live our life, what we like, what we don't like, what smells good, what doesn't smell good. So we are a sum total of everything that we've ever experienced up to this moment in our life. You change one little thing, the outcome is you change one ingredient in this giant soup kettle called life, it tastes different.
Of course.
So I embrace who I am right now, and the struggle and the journey and the hardships and the I don't think I ever fought anything or anybody, but the uphill climb has sometimes been very tedious and exhaustive, but it's worth it. It's worth it. The grandest of destinations have the longest, most difficult roads. And I know I've heard Raji say this before, embrace the journey. It's not about the crossing the finish line, because I think the finish line is constantly just out of reach. It's the journey, the goal in life is elusive, but as with every step we take, we get wiser. Our focus becomes clearer. Our vision becomes better. We can see more and more and more who we're becoming. And that's the exciting part about being a human being. And all this is molded by our imagination, and our thoughts, and our creativity. We are all blessed on this planet right now to be alive and to be human, regardless of whatever state you're in, physical, mental, or physical. Embrace the journey. Go for it. And I think Ella said we had to get out of here at 6:30.
I was just gonna say that, so let's kind of all say a little something, wrap it up, and let her go take care of her business that's more important than trans gurus.
Well, we all respect Ella's decision making and her priorities and whatever she's got. I'm sure it's important. So Ella, with whatever you got going on, good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Now, thank you for listening to us. I think that we're going to make it, we had our half an hour. Today it was a little bit shorter, but thank you very much for listening to us. And we'll be here next week again. And I love you.
And we'll go a little bit longer.
Probably, yeah.
You know,
Bonnie, any other thing to add?
I just want to add that, you know, every day you should get up and be thankful. Today, 2 years ago, I lost a very, very close friend. And you know, tomorrow is not promised. And what I want to say is live every day like it's your last and enjoy it. And whatever the universe throws at you, it's all about perception. You can perceive it as something that is negative, overwhelming, or this, or you can just perceive it as another obstacle to overcome that fills the day and gives you something to do, and not get all hung up on it, and just listen. The clock keeps ticking, whether you're mad, glad, sad, happy, whatever emotion. So if the clock's going to keep ticking, why not be happy? Why not be in a good place? Why not try to be positive? The decisions that you make will be better because you're coming from positive energy as opposed to being overwhelmed with negative energy that can have an effect on your decisions that you make. And did you know that if you use your hands a lot, your voice is better? Never mind. I couldn't resist.
Jimmy, any words?
No, I don't want to take up any more time. I love you all.
It's
Thank
all
you
right.
for watching.
Absolutely. Raj, any words?
Yeah, I'll just say real quickly, yesterday is gone, tomorrow has not come. All we have is the eternal now. So enjoy and embrace the moment, and much love to all of you around the world.
Very
I
wise.
saw how you're using your hands there, Raj. Is that part of your voice training?
Let me tell you, that's why you get the nails done. If my nails look like crap, I'd be like this. I'd be hiding them.
Like me, but since I just moved, it's very difficult to have beautiful nails when you move.
Yeah, oh, I know.
You know what I mean. Okay, everybody, bye-bye. And thank you for watching and see you next week. Okay?
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Have fun, Ella.
Thank you. Stop live stream. Okay. I'm sorry. I just stopped the live stream.
How's the rest of your family?